Hey man, you watching Cold Red with the one and only big homie. My big homie, KB. It's up there and it's stuck there. Boom!
Ricardo or more, drink like a boss.
Now move your body, girl. Hey. I like her. I want a wife her. I want to take her home and pull it all night. Her body like bow. Now move your body, girl.
What up, people? Cold Red, where there's smoke, there's fire. I'm your host, the Playmaker. Today we got a very, very special guest in the building. None other than Ray Nitti. Ray Nitti's in the building, y'all.
What's happening?
Ray, what's up, baby?
I'm cool. How you doing?
Hey, man, welcome to the couch.
Man, I'm glad to be here.
Man,
Chilling.
been a long time coming, man.
Yes, sir.
Ray, I got some in-depth questions I'd like to ask you. Ready?
Okay. Yeah, I think so. I hope so.
But let's get right to it.
Yes, sir.
Ray Nitti.
Okay.
Tell the people a little bit about
I feel like majority of people I feel like my story, born and raised in St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Islands, moved here when I was 15, 1998, went to John Burroughs Middle School for 8th grade, then Riverside University. At Riverside, I was introduced to Urban Underground, a youth leadership program that really helped me balance a lot of the different emotions I was dealing with from growing up in the islands and the things we were fleeing from in the islands, right? And, just adapting to a new culture, new weather, new climate. Then went to Concordia for a little bit. School, college education wasn't really the thing I wanted to do, but it was that or military, and I was like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna excuse my language. I'm gonna go ahead and do the school thing." Went there trying to play baseball. It just wasn't going how I thought it was gonna go in my mind. Started taking music a lot more serious. Had a song that did pretty well called Bow, produced by the homie Rail Beats. Shouts out to Rail Beats. But yeah, man, in a nutshell, that's kind of like, and then now I'm just 41 now, and I using the platform and influence to see how I could help support new talent in different ways, challenge new talent as well. As I'm a little older now, I understand the need for responsible artistry. You
Right.
know what I mean? And understanding that we not just like, it's easy to say it's just entertainment, right? But at some point, entertainment is programming.
Right, absolutely.
So,
Ray, you said you was giving it to us in a nutshell. You gave us the whole kit and caboodle almost.
Yeah, just a quick synopsis.
Definitely a quick synopsis. Well, let's talk about the early days of Ray Nitti growing up in the Virgin Islands. Do you remember that?
Yeah, absolutely.
What was life like?
Warm. You know what I'm saying? Hot. Challenging. I grew up in an abusive household. Moms was working 3 jobs. The common ghetto story of poor Black families trying to make something happen. But in the islands, it's a little bit different because I feel like you don't necessarily understand that, like, oh man, we don't really got a lot. You know what I'm saying? You thankful for what you do have. The culture was different in the islands. You feel what I'm saying? It was community. You help your neighbors. You know, you spoke to everybody. You say good morning, good afternoon, all of these different things. Hurricanes. I remember living through 2 hurricanes. Hurricane Hugo when I was younger and Hurricane Maryland. And they both devastated the island to the point we didn't have school, running water, you know what I'm saying? Like it was, but once again, you wasn't thinking about the magnitude of the devastation you was going through. I'm like, I'm out of school. I'm kicking it with the homies. We still playing baseball. Like, yeah, we, you know, having fun and all of these other things, but you still got to go wait in them lines and get the FEMA, you know what I'm saying? The MREs, the meals ready to eat. That's how we was eating during Maryland and things like that. So yeah, that was it was fun, man. I had a lot of good friends I still keep in touch with, played baseball back in the islands, a lot of beach life. Shouts out to the Virgin Islands, you don't know, St. Thomas. So but yeah, a lot of my family still there too.
You talked about fleeing.
Yeah.
Let's go more in depth about that.
Yeah, so like I said, I grew up in an abusive household. My pops, God rest his soul, he's since passed on. He was very abusive. You know, alcohol. Then you know, once that get in you, it kind of wake up certain other spirits in people that surface as well. So you know, I saw a lot of physical domestic violence growing up. I experienced a lot of abuse, you know. And I ain't saying some of the shit ain't discipline. I can understand discipline.
So is it a fine
but,
line though?
um,
And what is that line?
um, so for me, it's a little different because, like I said, the culture was different. I grew up in the islands where your teacher was able to beat you. You know what I mean? Like they had rulers that they would tape together and fucking clap your mother. You check, right? So it's like that was discipline. And then when you get home, you get it as well. You feel what I'm saying? So, but moving to Milwaukee, teachers ain't putting their hands on kids. Principals ain't putting their hands on kids. So, but there's a level of like, all right, I didn't even do the shit you just hit me for. You just drunk and beating the shit out of me.
Right.
Type shit. So that's a fine line.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I saw a lot of that growing up, man. And you know, one morning I saw my dad had a knife to my mom's throat and it was in the kitchen. She was on the floor. And I think that was it for her. She was like, you know what, I'm getting out of here. So she packed me and my little sister up, grabbed whatever we could get, took a seaplane over to St. Croix, and day after or so we was in Milwaukee. My sister and her husband was here at the time.
So how did you deal with the trauma from that?
I think it went through stages. You know what I'm saying? It went through stages of like you just suppress it. You know what I mean? You don't know how to necessarily express that. You know what I'm saying? Then you go through just shutting down. You know what I'm saying? But then you find places like Urban Underground that introduce you to different coping mechanisms and things like that. I met Muhib Dair and Kwabena through Urban Underground, and they used to do a writing program. And Kwa told me, he was like, man, they did a poem, and I was in there crying. And I'm like, damn, man, these niggas got me in here crying. You know what I'm saying? This is people I don't necessarily know like that. But the thing that they were speaking to was really, you know, I saw myself in that little boy that they was talking about in the poem that was acting out in class or being disruptive. And it was all because, like, all right, you don't know what I'm dealing with at the crib, but I'm trying to get some sort of attention, right? Whatever. But Qua came around. He's like, man, I don't know what you're going through. You don't got to share with us. Just write it down. You feel what I'm saying? He's like, let the writing be the therapy. And when you're ready to recite it, let that be you say, okay, I'm gonna start opening myself up to the healing process of getting past a lot of them traumas. But to be honest, bro, to this day, you still deal with it. You figure out like, okay, how do I approach certain situations? Like I heard arguing and screaming and yelling every day of my life growing up, to the point where like I don't like hearing loud shit anymore. I don't like people arguing. I don't like people raising their voice with me because it puts me in a space where I'm like, that's I might be having to fight for my life now. So I don't like feeling them type of emotions. I like to be smooth and not feel like, all right, I gotta get after it again type
Right.
shit. So, I try to just balance it in those ways. Try therapy, going and actually seeing a therapist. I went one time to like just the orientation when you just first meet the therapist. And it was just a lot, bro. It was like, I ain't ready to be just crying day one. I thought he was going to be asking me my name, getting to know me. You know what I'm saying? But it's something I would definitely consider doing again, getting back into that. But then you find certain communities, like minds, groups, organizations, you know what I'm saying, that you could be a part of to help hold each other accountable on what growth looks like for that particular individual. So as far
Absolutely.
as like dealing with it, man, you deal with it in different layers and phases. Music, you feel what I'm saying? You put it out in music. Some of the music I was writing back then or put out, I was talking about a lot of those things. Now to this day, you still figure out a constant journey on how am I going to deal of whatever that is for
Right.
anybody. You know what I'm saying? How am I going to navigate those emotions that may not be so comfortable?
Right. How old were you when you came to Milwaukee from the Virgin Islands?
Like 15, 14.
So
14,
you was a
15.
teenager.
Yep.
How was it a culture shock to you, because you being a teenager, getting you transplanting into a whole new culture?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, in St. Thomas, we had like, the music is different. It's soca, it's dance hall, it's reggae, it's calypso. We had a lot of fresh foods. Like I'm a customer just going and climbing a mango tree and grabbing a mango or a coconut or a soursop, you know what I mean, or sugar cane. And then over here, you got to pay top dollar for that type of shit that if I go back home, it's still free on the side of the road. But understanding those type of things that you take for granted. The weather is a huge culture shock. I'm still not accustomed to the cold weather. I still don't like it. The way people communicate, right? Like I said, in the Virgin Islands, we said good afternoon, good morning, good evening, how you doing? If I'm walking past you, you could be a homeless person on the street, right? You say good afternoon, good evening, how you do, is manners, respect. But when I was doing that here, when I first moved, it was received with a
They laughed
different,
at you.
not even a laugh. It was like, nigga, you don't know me. I'm like, God damn, I gotta know you don't want you to have a good morning, my nigga. So, that was kind of like a culture shock and difference.
Definitely.
But I also learned that it wasn't always that way in Milwaukee. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
They also had the times where you could leave your screen door open and you know what I'm saying? Your neighbor will come and say, hey, your kid down here cutting up. You know what I'm saying? So understanding like, okay, Milwaukee went through a culture shift as well that they probably experienced before I even got here. But yeah, see how people was respect. And I said everybody, right? But knowing that wasn't the cultural norm was shocking. So it made me change the approach of how I greet
Communicate
strangers.
to people.
Yeah, how you
Okay.
say hi to people, because you know,
I mean, what they
more.
say, when you're in Rome, you do what the Romans do. You
Absolutely.
don't want to look like a tourist, you
Yeah,
know.
absolutely. And then Milwaukee rib, man, they rib you quick. It was hella African booty scratchers, tutu and bantu, all types of. You know what McDonald's is? I'm like, yeah, bro.
And
We
at
in the
that
U.S.
time,
Virgin Islands, my nigga.
and at that time, you still had your accent.
Yeah, the accent was still strong, so they was asking me to say their names in my accent. They was like, say Shaquille O'Neal and St. Thomas. And I try, I'm a petty nigga. I'm like Shaquille O'Neal and St. Thomas. Like my accent ain't a language.
Right.
I'm speaking English. What you mean
Right.
say it in St. Thomas?
But they wanted you to.
But I understand in that, okay, it's a culture shock for these 8th grade students as well too. They're like, who's this Caribbean?
Yeah. And then it was educational for them too, in a sense, because we didn't really get a chance to get close to people that were from different places.
Yeah.
You know, most of the people in Milwaukee never been to Brown Deer. You know
Yeah,
what
for
I'm
sure.
saying?
For sure.
So to meet somebody from the Virgin Islands had to be exciting, to say the least.
Yeah. Niggas was just excited to rib too, though. They was like, it's somebody else to rib in this month. But no, it was cool though. It was cool.
It didn't take you long to adapt, though, did it?
Oh no, you know,
You was ribbing back.
yeah. By freshman year
Oh,
at
okay.
Riverside, it was like, all right, I got a fresh start. And I went to Burroughs, and from what I heard, Burroughs back then, like they was one of them ones with the schools. Cooley High.
Yeah. So,
So I guess I had good practice.
for sure. So, Ray, when did you, at 15, you came over?
Yeah.
When did you find your love for music? Like,
So I always was messing with music back in the islands, freestyling and so forth. But back in the Caribbean, St. Thomas, we called it chanting, right? As essentially the exact same thing as freestyling, just over Caribbean inspired beats or with your Caribbean dialect, right? But same difference as somebody maybe beating with a pen and a pad, and you know what I'm saying, and so forth. So it was like, I would say 6th grade, going into 7th grade, 8th grade. And then I had a cousin, Fritz. My cousin Fritz, he was always writing. You feel what I'm saying? He was writing music in the way he was talking about how he made sure his songs connected. Like, okay, if this song was about this next song needed to explain why this song was about that. Or so, you know, just watching him put songs together and so forth was kind of like my introduction to, like, man, okay, this what music can look like, seeing people write songs and so forth. And yeah, so that was kind of like my introduction to like writing with it, so forth. But the schoolyard at Concrine and Jarvis and them places and stuff. But yeah.
and
Then
then
I was in band, you know what I mean? I did all of that type of stuff.
when was your first introduction to the studio? Who took you there?
That's a great question. My first introduction to the studio was the homie Chris, so Big Business and Lil Hog at the time. I was at Riverside. I was part of a group called, so they was the 414. What was the name of it? I can't remember the name. It was Big Business and Lil Hog, right? But we was also a part of the group that was under them called 4 1/4 Boys. And Deuces from Streets of Young Deuces was in that group as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it was another homie, I can't remember the name right now, but them cats took me to the studio for the first time. It was I can't remember the producer's name, but it was just, you know, he was in his attic You know what I'm saying? But you excited to be making music. They letting you get on songs and so forth. So I would say that was on the first time I was actually introduced to the studio. So doing a lot of that stuff, running around with them boys over there at Clover Nook and off of Mill Road over there, because we all grew up over there.
What was your first rap name?
Damn. Like my first high school rap name, it's gonna be funny as hell. But so I used to love Nelly music so much, right? That my first, like when I started rapping, my first name was Relly. It's weak,
A
I
play off
know.
of Nelly, huh?
Straight and wasn't even trying hard. It was like, all right, I'm taking the N, put the R. I'm Relly now. So for like, I think that was my senior year. that was my rap name, Relly. Then I had a rap name called Ill Hazardous. That's when I was heavy in the rap battle scene and so forth. And then I was like, all right, Ray Nitti.
So when you came up with the Ray Nitti, I mean, you had went through a number of names.
Yeah.
How did you settle in on it?
So at the time, Ray Nitti, I was like in college now. It's like 2003 type vibe. And that's when I was starting getting into like the mobster movies and all the different characters in it. And back then you had a lot of these rappers that was, using these mobsters and so forth as part of their names. And then I was doing some research. He came up in a class actually at Concordia. But Frank Nitti came up in a class and what he did for the Capone family when Capone and them went to the jail or got indicted or whatever. And he kind of helped keep the family together and brought things back together. Although it was temporary, right? But he was like, he served as this important person from what I saw back then. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be Ray Nitti because I'm finna bring Milwaukee music scene together and keep the family together and get everything popping back in the city of Milwaukee. Yeah, that was kind of the childish Ray Nitti birth story.
Well, Nitti,
Yeah,
you was in college.
yeah.
How many albums had you dropped since then? When entering college your freshman year,
Man, albums?
singles.
Man, I probably man one, two, like maybe 3 songs, 4 maybe, cause me and the homie Antoine Hicks at Riverside put out a project. Um, and I was just like burning CDs and trying to sell it through the school. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, we out here type shit. But I would say like maybe 4 or 5. It was like 3 songs on that project. I think I might have made a song for a girl back then. You know what I'm saying, in school, but maybe like 3, 4, 5 top songs before I got into college.
So Ray, didn't it happen for you?
Mm-hmm.
How did it happen for you? What was the mode? What was the moment that you liked her? You want to wife her?
The moment I liked her and wanted to wife her is when I was having a rehearsal. And she actually was there at the rehearsal for a young lady that was she was backup dancing for me for a show at the rave, and she was her ride. And I was like, damn, this chick fine. But that's my story of how I liked her and then wifed her and got to that point. But
So that's how the song came along?
no, that ain't how the song came along, but you asked a specific question. You said, when did I first like her and wife her? How the song came along was, man, being 100, I was working a job at Time Warner. I was doing the rap scene battles. Met a lot of dope people at on the rap scene, cats like Ray Nitti, you know what I mean? And then, but it was like, battles was cool, but it wasn't giving me what I was searching for as like an artist. The notoriety, the whatever, the oohs and the ahs for the punchlines was cool, but I felt like I was yearning for more. And you know, I'm working this job, Time Warner, not really liking the job, whatever. At the time, I was rocking with Sincere, doing a lot of shows with him. Went on an Armed Forces tour with Sincere, came back, and I was like, man, this music shit could be something, man. But went back to Time Warner, and it just, my focus wasn't work. It wasn't fixing people cable. It was like, I need to figure out how I could get back overseas and perform some more. So my production was terrible at work, and they fired my ass. So I go to Tony Neal crib after I get fired, and he like, man, you need to stop all that. What the fuck Tony say? I'm trying to be very exact. He said, you need to get off all that uh trying to get niggas to say ooh and ah shit and make something for these bitches.
Sound like a classic Tony Neal.
Right, you need to make something for these bitches. And I'm like, damn. But it clicked something in me because I interned at V100, and I understood that, you know, when I was in college, V100 programmed, like they catered to women the ages of 18 to like 34, 38. That was their target demographic. And I'm like, man, I'm trying to get on the radio. And it's like, you ain't even thinking, and like you already went through and got the education on what's needed to get on the radio, and you not making anything to fit that format. So hearing Tone say that, it was like, damn, I gotta make something for the chicks. So went to Rail crib. Rail Beats crib, ironically, is Tone cousin, Tony Neal cousin. Rail gave me a pack with like 3 beats, 4 beats or something like on it. And Bob was on that motherfucker. And I was at my homie Joey crib. I just be popping up at bro crib at like 7 in the morning. Like, hey bro, I'm outside. I just dropped the wife off or something to work or something. You know what I mean? And then I was just go over there and write, trying to get something all day. And I'm like, okay, what we gonna do, man? This beat slapping. It's 4 fire beats from Rail on this motherfucker. And I'm like, damn, it gotta be something catchy. It gotta be something repetitive. And I wanted to make people dance. I knew I'm not the person that want violence. I grew up or I'm tired of it. I don't want to create that type of vibration. I'm from the culture of women dancing on men and whining and carnival and partying. You feel what I'm saying? That's in me. So I'm like, I want to figure out how to create that. So I was like, I know it had to be about the chicks. And, you know, I was like, what's a word that could be easily repetitive that like, but it's significant to Milwaukee? And I just remembered that if you my age and you remember clubs like H2O or things like that, when people was dancing back then, or a chick was really shaking some ass real good or something, he's like, bow, 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 whatever, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever, you know, Milwaukee is a dancing culture. So back then they was always saying, like, we would say bow, 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 you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm gonna put this in this song. That's my word, right? So now how do you build around it? And it's like, you can't try to do the oohs and ah bars. You gotta make it simple. How do you say something that'll make women feel like, I want to repeat that. I want to say that too. Oh, he really giving me something to make me feel. It's like, I like her. I want to wife her. I want to take her home and pull it all night. Her body like, bop, 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 bop. And then I'm like, damn, I think I might got something.
Did you know you had it when you spoke?
Man, so we literally was just playing the beat, and all I had was that. All I had was that. We go pick up my wife from work, and I'm like, man, I think I might got some. we was promoting that, excuse me, we was promoting that Timbuktu at the time. Shouts out to Youssef and Club Timbuktu. It gave us a platform to really, in my opinion, take everything off, from music to promoting to everything, right? And I was like, all right, I'm finna introduce this hook to these people. That day it snowed. It's only like 6 people in the damn bar, right? So I'm like, whatever, I'ma still give it to these 6 people and they gonna give me an honest whatever. Um, so play the beat, and I'm just saying the hook. I like her, I want a wife, I wanna take her home, pull it all night. Everybody like, bah, 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 bah. I'm juking, she moving. I wanna see if she really can do it. I do that for like 6 minutes straight. That's all I had, just that. And I'm like, man, what y'all think? They was like, nah. It was like 3 chicks. I know 2 stars was in there. Zave was in there. I think Joey was in there. Me and Youssef and like some other dudes. That might have been the 6, 7 people I'm thinking about that was in there. And they like, nah, we like that. You should do that. It's like, what the rest of it? I'm like, that's all I got. That's all I had. This is just the day. So next day we went to Record Lab and wrote the song, put it out, bro. And I went to Texture nightclub. I know between, I think it's O and Stretch, they be arguing about who did you get a song to first when you came to Texture. And I'm like, whoever was DJing upstairs is who I went to first. And then I went downstairs and rocked with the other DJ. But yeah, man, that was like, but then it was like, that's how the song was made, right? And then it was like, how did the song get to where, because that's that got
A story of its own.
yeah.
But I want to ask you,
Yeah.
is it true what they say? When you know you got one, your hair stand up on your arm.
Yeah, it feel good. It feel good.
You know it.
Yeah, you know like this good, right? But you can't, and in your mind, you like, oh yeah, we out of here with this one. But then God be like, all right, I'm about to take you out of here. Was you really ready and prepared for it?
So when I talk to people who have done drugs, right? They say the first hit is always something that they'll never forget. They always chasing it.
Yeah.
I wonder, is that similar to making a hit song? Like,
Absolutely. I don't know what it's like first hit for drugs. Let me let me
absolutely.
let me start there. But right, chasing that feeling of like, yo, we caught lightning in a bottle, right? You constantly want to chase that,
Mhm.
but you forget that you wasn't chasing that when you made it.
Right.
So now you chasing it, comparing it to what you did make, and you really cheating yourself because you chasing something that you wasn't even chasing before and you was blessed with to create. So now it's like a lot of times too, we chase it because the people that supporting us want more of it. You feel me? And if you just hear my story, you heard I came from battle rap, all of this. Like the bow shit was just me making something for the women to get the attention of the people. So now I had the attention of the people. So now the pressure come. Oh shit. We got the light. We can't let it go. I gotta go deeper. Eat you out. Now I'm chasing. You feel what I'm saying? I'm chasing and I'm no longer being authentic to the process that got me bow. So now I'm making a bunch of things that I'm chasing based off of the expectations that people that had grown to love that first record, you know what I mean? But neglecting myself in the process, like, man, what do I want to make? I want to make things that's talking about my traumas,
Yeah.
my hometown, my, the islands, Milwaukee in a different light. You know what I'm saying? I don't always want to eat pussy on the song. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So just more so, man, that was kind of like that was just kind of like
That was
yeah.
that was definitely a time in Milwaukee,
Oh, absolutely.
and that definitely a classic song that stood the test of time.
Shouts out Rail, man. Rail had the city going crazy. You gotta think about like people forget, bro, what really occurred around that time. You feel what I'm saying? And what was going on before that time. And you know, I give credit to everybody before and everybody after. But I think it was something special around that time. And it wasn't just about Bow. You feel what I'm saying? Bow was just a small part of what was going on. To me, Rail was so important to the city of Milwaukee and the music at that time because Bow was going crazy, and then the chase, right? It was like, damn, the city's showing love to people from here. Everybody went to Rail to get a beat. You start hearing and seeing more success. Booty hop, work that pole.
Mm-hmm.
You feel what I'm saying? You start seeing like, okay, we building something here. And it ain't just this one person. It's a group of individuals that's really developing something. And the city was supporting it. I remember they were supporting Cuckoo Cow, Baby Drew. You had to come from that Infinite 4-5 cloth or Eye to Eye. You know what I'm saying? That's what they would support. Then we had Genesis.
Yeah,
Genesis came and did his thing. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I give him his credit for that. Then you had Ray Rizzy. Rizzy was special because he got the support of the city and women, in my opinion, like the streets and women, what Rizzy did. And he was like, my opinion, the first that was like outside of that traditional mode of where you was getting the music from. And it was like, oh shit, Rizzy turning the town up. And it was like, okay, he opened the door. People was able to listen to Bow differently because Rizzy had already fine-tuned them. Like, oh, Milwaukee motherfuckers making some shit
And it was
now.
crazy.
And then they had Ice Moan. I gotta give Ice Moan.
Shout
He
out to
was the
Ice
one that
Moan.
really was like, all right, I'll show y'all people could
Shorty thick.
thrive off dancing music in Milwaukee.
It was crazy how the two Rays at the same time was just taking over. You know what I'm saying? The Rays was going crazy.
Yeah.
That was truly a classic because you could perform it right now today, and it's 20 plus years old, and you get the same reaction.
It ain't 20 yet. Don't age me that bad. We're like 17.
17.
Something like that.
It's 17 years old to date, and you could play it right now and still get the same reaction.
Yeah, for sure. Man, there was a lot of special people behind getting that record to where it was, from Milwaukee and outside of Milwaukee. A lot of people had parts to play, from Infotech to Tony Neal, even Kai, DJ O, New Style, Stretch, like Legend. You know what I'm saying? Printing up the CDs. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was so many people, bro. My whole, the Ivy League crew, Zave, Joey, Michael, Daz.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was a lot of people, bro. A lot of people that really was like, nah, we genuinely rock with this record. And, you know, the outside of Milwaukee, just from meeting all the core DJs, like, that's when I knew, I was like, okay, it's really something different when we performed at the core DJ retreat. And I saw, one, Milwaukee came down and supported. Two, whoever else was there, they had no choice but to get down with it because Milwaukee was going so crazy. And Lexi was on stage going crazy dancing as well. I think she really stole the show for the. And I just remember that was the day that 2 Chainz was there, reintroducing himself to people as 2 Chainz, formerly known as Titty Boy. And he freestyled for like 30 minutes. And I'm like, damn, we just really accomplished some amazing stuff. And look at where we at right now. So I think that was the moment I was like, no, this is bigger than just what I envisioned and so forth. From there, DJ Finesse, P Money, Era, Miss Hollywood, T Lewis, you know, all of these people, bro, and they doing amazing things right now. So it's like that song opens so many doors, bro.
Definitely. And your growth has been, since then, has been amazing. And I want to congratulate you on that. Being involved in the community, really taking the city as a whole and really trying to put it on your back in a positive way.
Mm-hmm.
From getting that multi-million-dollar project to running for 4th District Alderman.
Yeah, 4th District Alderman.
How was that journey? Like, what was the transition
to
making you become
me, bro? I felt like they say to whom much is given, much is required, right? And I'm like, this city blessed me enough and supported me enough to where I was able to go and do all them things you just said. I would never be able to do it if the city didn't say, we rock with dog. We rock with this music. And because of that, other people in different areas and lanes listen to my opinions, my consulting, and things like that. But because I had already had a background in political education and so forth from Urban Underground and rocking with Biko and them and so forth, like it wasn't necessarily a transition. It was just people seeing me in a different light now because that's the one that's standing for. But it was more so the struggle was me getting over the mental hurdle of like, oh, they just gonna look at me as a rapper. They gonna paint me as this. They not gonna take me serious because I made Bow. And he's running for the most powerful district in the city of Milwaukee. What does he know? He didn't graduate college. He dropped out to go make Bow. You feel what I'm saying? But it wasn't even about me winning the race, right? It was about me being tired of feeling like the growth and development of our artistic and creative community is being deliberately held stagnant. You feel what I'm saying? By the individuals that can change something and bring the right people together. So I was tired of that. And I was like, okay, mentor Reggie Moore said to me in one of my many fucking complaints and rants of how I feel about how things are in the city of Milwaukee for Black and brown people and creatives and so forth. You know, he said, man, we proud of you. If don't nobody tell you, we proud of you. Me and Charlotte proud of you. And we proud of everything that you've done. And he ain't tell me to run for nothing. What he said to me was, but all that you've done, you can't change the room if you're not in the room. And it sat with me for years. That message sat with me for years, 4+ years. What does that mean? You can't change the room if you ain't in the room. That don't just mean the room at the club to change how we gonna get more people to come kick it, or how we gonna get people to come earlier to how we gonna, you know what I'm saying? How do you change the city? The room is the city. How do we change this one? How do we make sure people on Center Street, Burleigh, Chief, all these places got the resources? Because they there. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
And the way to do it was get in position to be in the rooms that have influence over the resources. For instance, the 4th Automatic District, which is the most powerful district in the city. You got all the majority of the liquor licenses is in the 4th District. You got majority of the Fortune 500 companies is in the 4th District. And all I want people to do is come together and have a conversation. But they would paint a narrative and tell me, man, Nitti, ain't nobody them white people over there not gonna listen to you because they don't care about people that look. And what I learned was that shit ain't true, bro. It's a lie, bro. It's a lie. I went and knocked on the doors of all these same people and they was love. They like, what can we do? What can we do? We've been trying to get people to come to the table for years. Bro, been in office for 20 years. You feel me? And can't get the wealthiest condominiums, the proper, sit down that they want to get things done or and they want to know what can we do as the wealthiest taxed to help benefit what's going on the north side. So I'm in this meeting now like, well, damn, I was planted other information that's not how y'all felt.
So the information that you was given, do you think it was deliberate? Do you think it was or it was just lack of knowledge?
Let me not say, I don't think it was deliberate, right? I think we live in a society right now where we take too much for what somebody just says based off on like things people say about people they have never even met or encountered. You know what I'm saying? And be like, oh, they ain't, you gonna go over there and they ain't gonna fuck with you. And in my mind, I'm like, nah, they ain't gonna fuck with you. Cause your approach different. I'm me. You feel what I'm saying? Not saying I'm better than anybody, but I think my approach is different. I listen different. I communicate different. I articulate myself different. I take different approach. I don't tell people what they need. I ask, what do you need? You know what I'm saying? So I think, bro, that was probably some of the biggest challenges.
What do you think the biggest misconception is of Ray Nitti?
Man, that's a good question. I don't know, bro. I don't know what I think the biggest misconception of Ray Nitti is, because you hear so many stories about yourself. You feel what I'm saying? And the stories you hear come from some of the wildest places. So it's like, is that a misconception or is that just, and then I try not to even get caught up in what's people's misconceptions of me.
Well, maybe misconception was not a good word to use. Maybe I should have said the people judging you as Ray Nitti and not Ray Boyne.
Raheem Alejandro Boynes.
Boynes.
Yeah.
So we know you.
Yeah.
As Ray Nitti, whether it be the entertainer, you move over into the political space, you still Ray Nitti does.
Absolutely.
Right. So that's when I said the misconception, it's almost like me saying, do you think they really judging you of being Ray Nitti?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And so that's a fair question. I understand it better now. That's a fair question. And it was just, it's also stereotypes though that they place on you. And it's up to you whether you gonna feed into it or not, right? Like I said, they was hitting me with everything. You ain't finished college. You a rapper. You've never managed hundreds of millions of dollars of budgets. Okay, I managed 10 million.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I ran campaigns that was dealing with tens of millions.
Well, if you can If you can manage a 10
They
million, you can manage 100 million.
so, but the thing is, they won't even look at me and be like, "Oh, he probably managed a budget of $10 million before." They wouldn't assume that. They would have just said, "Oh, that's Ray Nitti. He made bow." You know what I'm saying? We know. Literally, my opponent said to somebody on the door that I asked, oh yeah, the other guy just came here, and I asked him, what does he know about you? And he said that, oh, that's just some rapper. You feel me? But if to me, that's cool. I want you to think that of me, because that's why I was on your ass. You feel what I'm saying? That's why I got the percentages bro, we spent like 20 bands, if that, on my campaign. He spent like 195,000 bands to beat me. It's the most spent money in any automatic election in Milwaukee history, money. We had them scared. And the point of it was to show Milwaukee that we got the power. We got the influence. We got the numbers to put people in position that will give a damn about transforming the culture, the city, the neighborhoods, prioritizing fixing our potholes, prioritizing, snow plowing and stuff. So our families aren't neglected and late for school and work because Burleigh ain't as important as what downtown looks like when it comes down to, you know what I'm saying? So,
Absolutely.
and in my opinion, it's a way for it all to work. Are we willing to work on it though? And that's what I have not been seeing at Common Council, is a collective effort of everybody willing to work. I've seen an effort of everybody willing to work for their own separate agendas and their own separate whatever.
Okay. So what's next for Ray Nitti?
Man, real estate, more real estate, music, more music, and we running again.
2020 when?
2028.
2028.
2028. And I will say this though. I went into that process. You couldn't tell me I wasn't gonna win. I'm like, it's my city, man. It's love. I ain't no gangster, no killer. I ain't toting no pistols. I'm handing out food and cleaning up. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, it's love. You know what I'm saying? It's love. So I was like, man, we finna really take the city out. Then we finna put somebody else in this seat.
Mm-hmm.
Then we finna put somebody else in this seat. So it was about showing people and getting artists involved too.
Mm-hmm.
Because understand it. I want people to, man, we've been putting in work that a lot of shit now has trickled down from, I'm talking about 2007, 6 to now you see in the fruits of, like, bro, Summerfest wasn't just putting a bunch of
Us?
Come on, bro. It was sincere getting that shot. You know what I'm saying? Then we took 33 bands to Austin, Texas for South by Southwest. And then when you came back, Ishdar had his own. He was the main performer on the stage. I've never seen it.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't opening up for somebody. He was the shit. And that's the change I'm looking to see. Like, I ain't trying to start no trouble, bro. I don't want nobody upset. I don't want to cuss nobody, make people feel uncomfortable or uneasy. Like, no. I want to change the culture. I want to change the way we look at what this city really could become. Not just downtown, but the north side, the south side, Brown Deer. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I was in politics, bro. And that's why I'm going to keep pushing it and keep challenging different political organizations to tap in with the artists. You feel what I'm saying? But don't just tap in with us when it's down to crunch time. It should be year-round opportunities that's going around educating artists. Like, yo, you got a voice. You got influence. You can educate your peers on the importance on voting in local elections and so forth. And it don't gotta be corny. It can still be, you can still be yourself. That's why I work with a Steve the Stoner on political campaigns, or B. Jones, or Myron Jewell, or any of these artists, and show them like, okay, you can get compensated in it too. You don't just got to give away your gift. Now, the budget may not always be the same, but showing you value on what it is that you bring.
Absolutely. Ray,
Yes, sir.
2026
Okay. Yeah.
is the year.
Okay.
Those the big plans.
For
When are you actually going to start doing your campaign run?
man,
How far in advance?
I'm.
Are we doing it now?
We doing it now.
That's what's up.
We campaigning now. Everything is from the time. Man, I look at it like this, right? For me, this campaign started April 15, 1984, the day I was born. You feel what I'm saying? This has been going on for 41 years. And we got to understand the campaign is our life campaign. And it's just a journey about growth. You can stop in certain, you know what I'm saying? Be like, all right, I'm done campaigning right now. Or you could, all right, I'm going to grow. I'm going to stop at. Imagine if Legend stopped at Work That Pole. And he was like, I had a nice campaign. We gonna chill here and just not evolve, not grow, not get better at producing materials and products. Imagine if we would have did that.
Right.
Imagine how many people wouldn't be able to have a spot to. Imagine if you would have stopped, KB.
Yeah.
When your campaign start.
I'm campaigning every day, right?
Exactly. I'm gonna tell you it's a part in my career, bro. And I get a little emotional thinking about it, where I be like, this was the one time where I felt like I had what I needed. The people was coming to me, not me asking. They coming to me like, man, I want to help you. But mentally, I couldn't even help myself at the time.
Right.
This is when I put out Lights Down Low. KB came and met with me upstairs from Mix nightclub. He like, bro, I like this song. But I didn't, you know what I'm saying? I was just making Lights Down Low because I needed something different from Eat You Out, Bow, more connecting me to my culture. It wasn't even about, I need to put this right. Bro, he was like, man, he was showing me socks. He was showing me all types of things. Like, man, we got lighters, bro. What you want to do? You don't got to give me nothing. This is what he said. He right here. That's who asking me the questions. Am I lying?
No, you telling the truth.
Never called him, bro. Never called him. Not because I didn't want to. Mentally, I wasn't. I'd have been wasting his time.
Well, I just think that it takes certain people to be around to be motivated. Like me and Legend always tell people that if you really want us to help you, you have to come be around the process.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You say you want us to help you, but we only see you once a month.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So I was just trying to say, Nitti, I believe in you.
No, for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
No,
And
you literally said, bro, I think about that off, and because I know it ain't like KB hit me up and came to me as a stranger, bro. This is somebody I've seen what he's done. It wasn't like he had to sell me on his abilities. I've seen it already. I've witnessed it. I know it worked. But I wasn't.
Absolutely.
You feel what I'm saying? and it would have just been fucked up
No doubt.
because we wouldn't have been able to do what we needed to do because mentally I wasn't there.
No doubt.
But and then also too, man, while we on it, I wanna add this part of my musical career because sometimes people be feeling like you leave them out of the story. And it was a part of my musical journey where I was working with Divine D.
Shout out to Divine D.
Shout out to Divine.
I was working with Divine too. We all did.
That's why I met you.
Yeah.
Through Divine.
Absolutely.
You feel what I'm saying? So Divine had a role in getting me in the studio. This was before Bow, before a lot of, you know what I'm saying? It was in the earlier stages of me getting in the studio and him showing me what studio work ethic is. Not settling for the first take. You know what I'm saying? Not settling for the fifth take. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
So I give bro his credit and props for that type of mentorship when it came down to the music industry. So I wanted to make sure I give bro his props in the part that he played in the Ray Nitti career or whatever. Before bro go on other podcasts and start saying Nitti ran off on me again. I'm like, damn, my nigga.
I didn't actually see that, but
no, I saw it's a little. We spoke about
it's
it.
an inside thing. Okay, I didn't actually. I never knew nothing about it.
It was out there. I just, we chopped it up about it.
No doubt.
We had a very spirited conversation.
And that's good, man. And I think that everybody that put in work should get their flowers.
Yeah, absolutely.
And sometimes we get in front of the media and we forget. It be so much going on, and people have to understand that we not forgetting about you the moment.
Yeah. And if you get asked about specific moments, you know what I'm saying? Like, people ask me about Bow. A lot of people don't you know what I'm saying? Like, tell me about the good stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't ask me about what my mama was struggling with.
Right.
What she was fighting to deal with.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't ask that. They don't ask the in-betweens. They want not all the time, I should say.
Well, everybody don't want to have an in-depth conversation with Ray Nitti like KB do.
But yeah, man, you feel me? So
I
got layers to me, man.
Yeah, we got
more
to
than
it.
A bumper clock show that we go.
No doubt. Say, Ray, man, I want to thank you, man, for taking time out your busy schedule to even come down and sit with me on the couch.
Man, I appreciate it. Man.
So thank you for coming to the platform, Code Red, where there's smoke, there's fire. I'm your host, the Playmaker. And right here, that's Ray Nitti.
Rehearing your boings. You don't know. Boings to the world, love our Lord.
And we out.
No paparazzi. Look, baby, hop on this dick and ride like a Kawasaki. I be in mood almost every song.